tax the rich. Have you heard this before? Well, here's what happens, and I want to use an actual real-world example. So I'm not going to sit here and theorize or talk about some sort of economic theory. No, I want to take an example that's a recent event as of the recording of this video, and then just walk you through what's actually happened and why it's all occurred. And this is not some sort of political video. I'm not trying to persuade you of anything. I'm just literally trying to show you what recently happened when a rich person had to pay, as you're going to see, a pretty hefty tax bill. But to make this, I think make the most sense and make it relevant to everybody is I want to just set up what I think is people's overall goal, because I don't think most people out there are running around saying, I want a private jet, I want a yacht. I think most people are just like, you know what? My definition of rich is peace of mind. Peace of mind meaning you can lay in bed, you're not stressed out about finances, you have bills paid, you know that they're going to be paid, but you're financially free, right? You're financially independent, and you just have everything in order from a money standpoint. That's my definition of rich, just being able to lay in bed with peace of mind. So most people, like I said, are striving to get there, right? And a lot of people, and especially in this situation where it's going to be relevant to this situation, but we'll just call the blue spot right there. That's the starting point. And yeah, a lot of people, they're on their way. Maybe you're sitting here. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're investing in the markets, you're thinking about investing in the markets, or you're trading, but your mind is on money in one way, shape, or form, because that's what this channel is about: trading, investing, financial stuff. So like I said, I would assume that you are one of these people that has started and you're starting to make progress to what? Well, you're trying to make progress to get up to that peace of mind line. Again, not in a greedy, savage way, just on hey, I want to have financial freedom. I want to have my financial matters under control so I can lay in bed with peace of mind. That's what I'm assuming here. And you're on your journey. You've already made some progress in that regard. But yeah, to be fair, and there's nothing, it's just the fact of the matter. Again, I'm not going to tell you how you should feel about it, but the fact of the matter is there are also people like Elon Musk, and I choose him because this is who this real world event revolves around. But he is way far above the peace of mind line, right? He has just so much money. He has so much wealth that, he's not like he's laying in bed saying, I don't know, I hope I can pay the mortgage. No, he has none of those worries, right? And that's, the quote unquote status, rich people that I think most people are talking about, they're the people way far up above that line. So that's the context here going in. But now let's talk about what was going on here that brings Elon Musk into this example. Now, before I get to this next part, I'm just going to assume you're a beginner to the stock market. And I'll just say this: when people are investing, when people are trying to reach that peace of mind line, one common way to do it is, hey, invest in your 401k, invest in an IRA. But invest in what? Well, invest in the stock market. Again, with broad strokes, that's what people are talking about. I realize some of you are saying, no, Clay, I invest in crypto. That's fine. My point here is that investing means you're getting money, you're saving some of that money, and then you're putting into investments. And when those investments go up, that is good. Investments that go up get you closer and closer to that peace of mind line. And when a stock price goes up, again, that is a good thing. Stock prices going up mean you're getting closer to that peace of mind line. So that's what all you need to understand right now in regards to the stock market. How it works is you buy a stock, you invest into a stock, and then you want that stock to go up because that'll get you closer to the peace of mind line that we just talked about. So in an article here from CNN, here's what Elon Musk is likely to do with those billions of dollars in stock sales. So he had to sell some stock. Well, why did he have to sell some stock? Well, down here, and I'll link the article down below so you can read the whole article. But so from his stock, so right there, most of the proceeds from his $16.4 billion in Tesla stock sales since November 8th will go to pay an estimated $11 billion federal tax bill. So as a side note, and I'm not sure saying that you believe this, but when you tax people, they don't pay their taxes. No, they pay taxes. Now, tax rates, that's a little different discussion, and I've talked about that before. But rich people definitely pay taxes, and here you can see Elon Musk is going to be paying $11 billion in taxes. And then the other important part about this is, okay, he sold stock, but when did this happen? And right here, so he sold lots of shares, and the stock sales took place, so many shares that he didn't just do it all in one day, because that would have been really bad for the stock price. But the sales took place on 11 separate days, spread out from November 8th through December 28th. So now let's go look at real life data here. And I truly don't mean to repeat myself, but this is an important point. If you're trying to get to that peace of mind line, You want stock prices to go up. You want your investments to go up. But right here, you can see November 8th, when he started, Tesla stock price was right about there. And then notice what occurred. Down, 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 the stock price went as he sold and sold and sold. Now, after he got done selling, it did start to recover back upwards, and it did make it right there. But overall, it moved lower than where it had been. And when stock prices are going down, that's not good as far as, the quote unquote ordinary people that are trying to get up to that peace of mind line, because stock prices going down mean your investment going down, meaning you're getting further away from that peace of mind line. And that's what happened here. Selling, selling, selling. Now, why did he have to sell? Well, a common misconception out there is, people think that, and the numbers are always fluctuating, but let's just say right now, Elon Musk is worth, $250 billion. A lot of people, myself included, when I was, new to finances, but I would hear, oh, you're worth $250 billion, meaning like in your checking account, in your bank account, you have $250 billion sitting there. That's not the case. Net worth is just the total amount of your assets. Assets are, some of that is an investment. Some of investments can be stock. But in order to turn a stock into cash to pay your taxes, well, you have to sell that asset, right? And I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but that's how it actually works. Take the asset, you sell it, you get cash, then you can take that cash and go pay the IRS. So the whole rich people thing, when you say, oh yeah, Elon Musk, he's got $250 billion. No. He does not have $250 billion. He has to go get $250 billion, and he has the potential at it. But in order to get it, he has to sell stock, and by getting it, so this is what we see here. You see the get. He is getting the money to pay those taxes. But in the form of getting, he is causing the stock price to go down. And that's just what happens, right? When you start to sell a bunch of something, prices go down. Basic supply and demand. So that's what was happening here. And maybe you see where I'm headed with all this, but let's look at this from the peace of mind line perspective. And we'll use the blue arrow here. So remember, this is, the starting point right here. Actually, we'll use blue for the starting point. So these people have made some progress. So that's the progress that they've made. And of course, Elon Musk has made a whole lot of progress from the starting point. I mean, he started down there also, but he got to the peace of mind line, and he's just gone up and up and up. But these people, they're still making progress. So, but this tax bill occurred. So when Elon, I mean, what does that line look like for him? Because it did bring him down some, right? Because, okay, now he doesn't have as much money. But when you're at $250 billion, maybe even more, I mean, what does that line look like? Something like that? I mean, I don't know. Some would probably argue that little arrow there is too big, and I don't think you're probably wrong. But what happened in order, again, so in other words, even after selling all that stock, causing prices to go down, paying that $11 billion in taxes, very clearly, right? He's still plenty up above the peace of mind line. But what's going on with these people? Well, if they invested in a Tesla, or if they have invested into just rich people's stock or companies or any sort of assets, and those assets are starting to get sold off because people need to get their money from the rich perspective. Well, all of a sudden, these people were right here, but now they're getting pushed back down. I mean, at best, they're staying even. But assuming that they're in Tesla stock, I mean, you saw the price was going down. That's not good when you're trying to get up to that peace of mind. So now all of a sudden their goals of getting, again, not goals of I want money. No, just, hey, I just want peace of mind. That goal is being slowed down. It's being turned backwards because now their investments are going down in price by this event of tax the rich. So I mean, and again, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but some people are like, no, Clay, yeah, that's not even enough. Like Elon, he has so much money. That should be even more. Okay, well, let's just say, because we already saw, we have the data on the results of that yellow arrow, right, of being taxed $11 billion. Well, I don't know, it should be $50 billion. Okay, well, now this arrow is, yeah, you do. You're taking away $50 billion from him. So you are taking more. But what do you think that's going to cause the stock price to do when he's got to go out there and get $50 billion? Well, I mean, this arrow from where they were, now we're talking like off screen, just boom. Off screen, those people are going to be going backwards from an investment standpoint, right? It's not helping them in any way to have their investments go down and down and down. And that's what ultimately happens. So, and again, however you feel about it, that is fine. But my point here is that don't look at the rich people amount as them having that money in a bank account. They have to go and get that money. So the question just becomes, well, what does the process of getting that money look like? And for Elon Musk and Tesla, it involved selling the stock, which involved, bluntly hurting his shareholders, hurting people that are trying to grow their wealth by investing into his company. So, another way that you could look at it is, okay, because I don't think anybody out there is saying, no. Elon should not pay any taxes at all. He should pay some taxes. But what about if it's just okay? Well, how can we try to keep as much money in his pocket as possible? And the argument here would be, okay, why would he want to keep as much money in his pocket? Now, again, I'm not saying we don't tax him, but, well, if he has more money in his pocket, then he can go out there, hire more people. He can come up with more cool products. He can come up, R&D, research and development. And if he comes up with more cool products, or these rich people companies come with more cool products, that means people want to buy those products. And when people want to buy their products, the company does well. But what does that mean? The company, quote unquote, does well. It means that the stock price goes up. So yes, if the stock price goes up, you can't refute it. That means Elon is getting further and further and further away from the peace of mind line. He's getting even richer. That's an economic fact. You can't refute that. Hey, if Elon's doing well, wow, he just keeps going and going and going. But what does that do to these people if they're in the stock? And if Elon's getting richer and richer because of the stock, well, they're also getting closer and closer and closer to that peace of mind line. And then the flip side of this is, or the other benefit is that the more people that get up to this line, that means they're financially fit, right? They're financially independent. They have financial freedom. They have financial well-being. And with that, you know what? They're not going to need to rely on outside of sources. They're not going to need as much Social Security. Now, I'm not saying eliminate Social Security system. I'm just saying, well, the people that get up to that line, they're not going to need as much. And if they don't need as much, that means the government, doesn't need to tax people as much because they don't need to take, people don't need as much from the government. So when people are taxed less, then that means those people have more money. That means those people can invest more into stock, and then they can even get it up that line even quicker, because the more stock, the more investments you have, which you can do if you have more money in your pocket, which you can do if you are taxed less. Well, that's just going to help more and more people get up to that line, which is a good situation to have. Again, you can't refute the fact that, that line for that person is going to go higher and higher and higher. Well, but these people are never going to get up there. That's true. But these people didn't have the idea, right? The idea person, the person executing the idea, who had the great idea, I think rightfully so, that should be the person that's up there, that's gotten the idea. And then, but that doesn't mean that nobody else can also benefit from the idea. You don't benefit as much, right? You're not going to get way up here in the stratosphere above the peace of mind line. But you can at least get up to the peace of mind line where you can lay there in bed, peace of mind, have a good, solid life where you're not stressed out. And to me, I think, like I said, that is the ultimate definition of rich. So that is, what ultimately happens is, at the core, to just summarize, somebody worth $100 billion does not have $100 billion sitting in their bank account. They need to go and get that $100 billion, or they need to go and get that amount that they need to pay for taxes. And they get things by converting the asset into cash, which means selling. And if you're part of that asset class, if you're part of that investment, well, then your wealth is going down too, because when you get a bunch of selling, and again, I'm not talking in theory. We just looked at a real life example of this, and that's just how it works. So if you want to tax the rich, okay, that's fine. You just got to, factor in the secondary, results of that. And just kind of, in my mind, it's just a question of, and there's all sorts of opinions out there, so I'm not here to debate that. But the quicker way we can get these people up to that way, the best, right? And the most efficient way and the most economically self-sufficient way, meaning it can continue on and on and on, not some sort of like one-time event where, okay, we got a bunch of people up to that line. Yeah, but are we now going to be able to actually keep them at that line? So you got to not only get people up to that line, but you also have a self-fulfilling system where you keep people up the line. And I like I said, I think I speak for everybody in that regard. I think everybody wants to get people up to that peace of mind rich line. Now, the how, yes, that's where the big debate comes from. But at the end of the day, there's no way around it. You're not helping people get up to that level when their investments are actually going downwards, right? That's just basic math. So let me know what you think of this. Are you a Tesla shareholder? What did you think during the time when Elon was selling and causing the stock price to go down? Hopefully you held strong and hopefully the shares recover and you can get some of that money back. But like I said, let me know your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on this in general. But thanks for watching, and hopefully this helped. Hopefully this kind of help you consider a couple different things on what happens when you do tax the rich.